good.
Okay. Okay, this is the 10 o'clock game on court 2.
They had a no-show. My brother said.
We have Tom Bray, Tom Ehlert, and Xzaveion Price on the court. Xzaveion is the referee on the game today. Good job, good retoss. Good call on that, getting the ball. We always want to start the game with a good toss and get the game off on the right foot. Oh, it's too high. Okay, we're going to try it again. Drop it down, Xzaveion. One thing to practice in the off season is get by a basket. There you go. Good. Always want to start the game with a good toss. Okay, rotation, Tom, rotation, you see, there you go. Now you rotate it back again, now you come back out as the trail, there you go. Good. Okay, you've got to look at where your rotations are, guys. Okay, rotation, good. Another rotation on ball side, good. Xzaveion, you're doing a great job there, just getting over. Okay, good. Again, Xzaveion, your mechanics. Got to have good mechanics, okay? Out of bounds, blow the whistle. Hand goes up, stop the clock. And then color and point. So that should have been whistle, hand up, and then black, and then pointing. Okay, good foul call. Good, okay, good job. Good foul call. Looks like we're all in the right position. And I believe that we did count the basket on that, so we should be good shape with one shot. Okay, Xzaveion, you're the C. There we go, yep. Okay, on free throw, Xzaveion, you are the one that chops in the time, so you are actually counting with your visible count of 10. You're on the visible count of 10 on the free throw shooter, and then once he shoots the ball, your hand goes up, and if he misses it, once the ball's possessed by the new offensive team, then you chop in the time. If they make it, your hand just drops down. So okay, look at, there we go. We just caught the rotation there, got into the right spots we were, okay. Okay, it looks like what you need to do, guys, is just, you got to see out of the corner of your eyes, you know, when you got that, you know, the rotations. You know, that's, you know, you're looking at the players. You're looking at the players, you know, calling the game and stuff like that. But out of the corner of your eyes, you got to be able to see, you know, the lead moving over and then initiating a rotation, and then trail's got to come down to become the C, and then the C that the old C's got to become the new trail. Okay. So Xzaveion just moved over on this one, and we didn't shift down here. There we go. Now he did. Okay. You're getting it. It's just that it's got to be quicker with those on those rotations, guys. A little quicker. Recognize them and then rotate. Not quite sure on that rotation, on that foul call. You guys look at that when you look at your film. I think Xzaveion was the trail. Tom, I think you were the C. So that shouldn't have caused a rotation at all. Xzaveion just called the foul, goes and reports it, and comes back and just inbounds it, and you stay put at the C. Good job. There we go. I think you guys are starting to look a little bit more comfortable, probably from yesterday. And again, it's just a matter if you work the games, you know, it's just going to become natural in most situations. So there's a good rotation. Xzaveion picked it up. Good. Good. Way to step down over there, Tom, as a trail to get a better angle. That was a nice move to take that steps and get a better angle on that shot. Good get. Good get. Good get. See, that's what I was talking about you yesterday, Xzaveion, is having a strong whistle, because if your whistle is just a little tweet, you know, players don't hear it, especially in a gym that's crowded and there's noise or whatever. Want to get that whistle loud, sharp blast of the whistle, letting everybody know you're making that call. Play is to stop, whether it's a violation or a foul. Otherwise we get that stuff going on after the fact. Move over, Tom, move over, there you go. That's it, good. Get that rotation right, there we go. We're starting always with ball. We have the lead's got to be on that side. Good get. Okay. Xzaveion, you gotta when you make that foul call, you gotta let your partners know what you got. You know, in that situation, it's out of bounds. You gotta point to where you want that ball in bounds. They're not sure if it's out of bounds or if you're shooting. So, arm up with the closed fists on the foul, and then hesitate again, and then point to where the ball goes out of bounds for your partners, that it's inbounding, and then they know that they got to switch and rotate. Okay, Xzaveion, another thing too on that last situation down here on the floor, you were coming across as a lead on a rotation and the guy was shooting the ball. We talked about that yesterday. If that begins to happen, you want to back out so that you're not going to complete the rotation, because it puts your partners in an awkward position of trying to adjust, and then they have to bust butt to get down the floor. And they're focused on the shot going up, and they're not going to be able to pick up that rotation. Good get, Tom. Okay, that's it. Get in the right position. You guys did a nice job on that rotation, you know. Again, it takes a little bit to get used to it, but once you do it, it'll become natural. You know, table side, if you got a foul, guy on table side will always be the one to make that exchange with the official that called the foul. Good. Good. Okay. All right, guys, good job. You are. Again, remember what I told you yesterday, that when you're the lead, you start going across because the ball's over our opposite side and the shot goes up. What do you want to do? You want to back out because you put your partners in an awkward situation. Now, he's so focused on that shooter, making sure he goes up, comes down without getting fouled. He's not going to pick you up, and then all of a sudden the ball's going to get taken and going down, and he's going to have to really hustle Heine as a C to get down. Where if you back out, you still got your trail that's still back here to get down the floor and stuff like that.
Guys are not having
One other thing, you had a call over here. It's the absolute right call. I was the lead. Let me know if it's two shots or if it's underneath.
Yep.
So you kind of made the call, and I'm okay. Is it two shots or is it underneath?
after the fact.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep. And I'm putting it all on your video and stuff like that.
Anything on the inbound, correct me if I'm wrong, inbounding side automatically goes lead and trail. Opposite of the sideline inbounds?
Yes.
And then center opposite.
Yes.
Always
So on the switch on, so he called the foul here as a trail. On center, I switched with him.
Yes,
Is
you
that
do.
the correct thing
Yes.
to do?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Yep. All right. Guys are doing a nice job on foul selection. There's a good call. Grabbed them. You know, again, that is the most important thing, is making sure that in the whole game, you know, as you're learning, you know, the mechanics and everything like that, is that you always want to make sure you still get the foul calls and the violations. Good. That was another good. As you come up, you see on that one there, Tom, who was the trail, saw Xzaveion coming up really quick from the C position. He was hustling, which is good. And then Tom, you were looking back to make sure. You were thinking maybe is he the lead, the new lead, and you were looking back to see once where Tom was. And then got that, you know, got hustled down there to get the floor. That's one thing I always do in my mechanics too, and I'm on a three-person crew. As I'm going down the floor, which you're supposed to be running and looking at the players anyways out of the corner of your eye, then if you're not quite sure you're supposed to be the lead, you just out of the corner of your eye, you see your partner coming up as a trail, you know you got to be at the baseline. And then if you see your other partner who's supposed to be the C come in down that way too, you can holler over to them, direct them back, you get them back to the C, pick it up. Good rotation. There we go. Get 4 eyes over on that ball side. Good. Good. Hustle down, Tom. Okay, good foul call, good get. Again, just a mechanic thing again, Xzaveion, you know, good strong whistle, what you did. Arm goes up, closed fist, indicating the foul. Then you see that the basket went in. Communicate with your partners, and I think I saw that a little bit, you know, with your little dip of your fingers and stuff like that, that the basket did go in. So when you go over and report it, you know that that basket did go in. You know, what I normally do is actually I'll count it on the spot too. So I got my hand up with the foul call straight up in the air. And then if the basket goes in, I bring my hand down to the side and I bring my 2 fingers out to the side. I'll show you that at halftime, how to do that. Just a communication thing again with partners, because when you're doing 2-person, it's a little bit easier with just having to move around with 1. But when you got 2 other officials on the floor, you know, that communication, on-floor communication, verbally and with hands, is pretty important. Good get. No rotation change. Nope. Tom, come on over here. Transition, no rotation change. Okay, when we have a long transition and you made the foul call over here in the seat position, you just go over and report and come right back. The only time we have you stay over at the table side is in the front court. Talk about that at halftime also. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of a little bit, one thing you can look at, is good get. Good get, good get. I was just gonna be talking about that, you know, as far as watching in the post play where we got some holding going on, you know, as the post players are trying to get some movement in the lane, and we got some guys grabbing and holding on to that. And Tom, you got that call on that one, so you want to make sure if you can do, you know, some communication, preventive officiating. What best thing to do is, you know, talk to the guys when you get a chance. They're coming down the floor and just say, hey, number 15 or number 14, number 10. We got to. Good 3-point mechanic there. Over. Okay, rotation. You had rotation. You're out now as a trail. There you go. Tom, get down. Good. Good. Go. That call, you know, you might want to look at that on the film. That was questionable. Okay, so take a look at that screen on that particular play. Might have affected that call. So you had to see that initial contact in order to make that call correct. Okay, so take a look at that, guys. I think you missed that. That call was the wrong way. So. Can you find Cullen? He's got to be here somewhere. He's supposed to be on this court. No, Todd, he's here. You got to go to classroom next with the high school guys upstairs. Okay, I'm talking about Cullen, the official, that was out drinking last night with these guys. He was supposed to be on this court at 10 o'clock. Lance is filling in for him right now. So I don't know if he's out on the court with lacrosse, but he should get his butt in here for halftime. Out on the outside court, go out the doors outside and see if he's out there. And then all of these high school guys are coming up to classify you next. At 11 o'clock.
This is the trouble with these iWatchers. It must have slipped off the charging thing like that. What the hell good is this thing now for the rest of the day? Nothing. No battery life.
Okay, sorry guys, I had to do a little business there with the other clinicians on court 1. There we go. There you go, Tom. Thank you. Pointed out Xzaveion get on the right side of the floor as he's administering that free throw. Tom's call. Okay, that should be Tom's call. He was a C again. Look at that last shot of the half, and at the end of the game is always a C that blows a whistle, and then it's got the responsibility that the half is over, the end of the game is over. So, right, that's your horn at the end, your whistle at the end. Yep. Okay. Always.
I was down here though, should be with that goofy clock.
We didn't talk about it.
Nope. It's always opposite the table.
Yesterday,
So-
Mike said you got to pregame and determine where the clocks are, and if it's easier for opposite, we all got to agree on it. Since we didn't, it's my bad.
Yeah, but in real game situation, it's always opposite the table. It's going to have that. Got to have that.
Underneath you like that?
Yep. Well,
It's tough.
that's what just what he said is you got to pregame. But in a normal game situation, I'm thinking in a normal gym.
Yeah.
If you were in this gym, you had clocks at both ends. So then you're away
That
from the
makes
table, whether you're the C or the T. You should be blowing your
Opposite.
whistle.
So it's always a C's.
Opposite the table.
Opposite the table.
Not the lead, opposite the table.
It's always it's either C or T opposite the table. You basically just see if the basket's going to be good or not, and then you whistle, and hand goes up, and That's all you do. Hands got to go up. You don't have to do any wave. If you're doing this wave or anything like that, what's that telling everybody?
No basket.
That's no basket. So it's just all it is just whistle, hand up. We got stopped just like you're calling a violation. You're stopping the play. That's what you're doing. You just drop your hand down.
Yeah,
You're good to
I
go.
wasn't paying attention to the clock, so that kid took a half-court shot. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It must be the end of it. And then it didn't go off.
Yeah. I mean, rotations again. They're much better. I mean, it's the second day and stuff like that. Just want to keep making them a little bit crisper. The key is again as you're on the floor, you got to be able to see out of that corner of your eye. You're focused on those players, but you always got to think out of the corner of your eye. As I'm the trail now, and all of a sudden I start seeing my C going across, that's automatically going to make me. He's pulling me as a string. He's pulling me down, and he's releasing as a C. He's releasing that trail to come back up. So focus and you just start out of the corner of your eye picking it up. The other comment that I said yesterday is if you're the trail and you're coming back down in transition on the floor, you're coming down. You're supposed to be running like this and looking over your shoulder anyways, not down the floor like this. If you're running down the floor and all of a sudden you didn't catch a rotation, you think you're the C right now, and all of a sudden you see your partner behind you on this side. What is that telling you? You got to go down. You got to be the lead. You got to be the lead. So even when you come back down the floor, you're looking at the players, but also you look at your partners, and you can see, I didn't catch that rotation. I'm the lead or the new lead. I got to get down here.
Is the ball going that way? Should I be behind him, or should I be in front of him looking at him? Or should I be back here? If he's leading it that way, should I always be just behind on the trail? So I'm.
Yeah.
Do I be?
Huh? I just saw him in the hallway just before. I saw him peek in the hallway with his shirt on. I saw him peek in.
They change it?
So I think he's probably lost because you were probably upstairs.
So it'd be that way now.
You were upstairs, so he didn't see anybody. So he kind of peeked in and saw things are going on. He never really stepped in and talked to anybody. So I don't know why he wasn't on time. All right, we're ready to start the second half. Good to go. A little bit easier the second half, Xzaveion, where you don't have to toss the ball. Just have to hand it in. So again, as I said early on, it takes practice. It takes practice. It's not something that took me years to develop a good toss. Well, we got everybody in the right positions to start the game for the second half here. There's a good rotation. Xzaveion, okay. Good back out on that. Good. Oh, we got to get down, Tom. You got to get down. Tom, you got to get down. There you go. Good. One thing you're going to notice too, as you watch the film, you can be able to see yourself, as far as where your position is, and for putting your hand up for 3-point shots. I think I'm seeing a couple times where I'm not quite sure if it's your primary area to be indicating 3. Of course, we always have the trail and the C mirroring if it does go in. A little bit tougher game to work here. The two feisty teams probably are battling out to see who's going to play additional pool play. Maybe that extra game, if you have record-wise to determine. That's it, Xzaveion. Good. That was your responsibility. Good 3. Again, one thing I'm going to just tell you that you want to try to do is always you want to have your outside hand as your indicator for your 3. So what I mean by outside the hand, that's the hand that's closest to the table side. So on that last 3, you use your right hand, and it should be your left hand. So, okay, good communication there, Xzaveion. I think I saw that you were pointing to Tom that we got a sub. That's awesome. That's awesome. There we go. Good whistle. Hand up. Subs in. Good. Okay, thumbs up. Good, Tom. Okay, indicating 1. Guys got it. As the administrating official, one thing you want to do, Tom, is you're telling the team's 1 shot, or the player's 1 shot, but then also hand up high enough so that your fellow officials are seeing that too, and that they're agreeing that it's 1 shot. Sometimes, going underneath, we might miss that it's 1 shot or 2 shots or whatever, and when you do that, good call. When you do that, sometimes you eliminate the error of, making sure that you're shooting, the right free throws, whether it's 2 or you're in the bonus, 1 shot. Oh, Xzaveion, you want to be stepping down. Okay, look at your position there where you stepped out away from the play. In that, to get a better angle, you wanted to step down. You're the C. You don't want to be stepping out to become another trail. You want to be staying in that C area. Good get. Good get. You want to be stepping down, get more into the play. You have your trail behind you. So take a look. You'll see that when you're looking at the film. All right. Okay. Tom, those are your subs coming in. That over and back call should have been Tom's over here as the trail. That's his responsibility. Even though that, it might be in your primary, Xzaveion, over there, where the players, but again, the half-court line is responsibility of the trail. But if you didn't get it, you got it, then that's what we need to. It wasn't over and back, and you made the call, so. Tom, you're the new lead. Okay, there again, Xzaveion, and you're doing a great job. You're doing a really good job getting that foul call and stuff like that. It just, you made the foul call and you just kept running around to the table to do the reporting. You never communicated with your partners what was going on. Basically, you had that ball, you stopped dead in your tracks. Hand up, closed fist, you stopped dead. You let them know what you had. The ball's going to be out of bounds, or if you're going to be shooting. And then you move over to the table, make the call. Then they know where they need to be, rotation-wise, and what's going on. Okay, that time, much better. You're the lead down there. Solid call. You stayed, you positioned yourself, and I think partners knew what you had. Black ball. Xzaveion, get up! Get up! Okay, again, for everybody, your C home base is sideline, just a step onto the sideline from the 3-point, or not the 3-point, the free throw line extended out. That's your home base. Okay, Xzaveion, you're too far out right now. You're 2 steps past your home base. Again, that's your spot as a C to start from. 1 step down, 1 step up, 1 step on the court, you know, either side or whatever. And after you make that step down, after you make that step down or step, you know, and you get back to home base again, and you start from that spot again. So okay, I'm not quite sure what that was about. I guess Tom had an out of bounds call. I'm not sure what he needed to touch base with Xzaveion on, but it looks like we're all set. Again, you know, if I'm standing here and not able to communicate to you, you know, what just happened, then I mean our signals or something did not happen correctly to communicate to your partners either, and they probably were unsure as well what's all going on. Sub coming in and out, Tom, over there. Your responsibility. You're closest to the table in the front court. You brought him in, but we didn't have any whistle. Again, whistle, hand up. Stoppage of clock. It's your stoppage of clock, and then you beckon the subs in. You keep the hand up until the subs are exchanged. Then you give a thumbs up or point to let them know we're ready to go. Okay, just take a look at that too. Tom was bringing subs in and out, and he had his hand up yet, Xzaveion, while the sub was running off the floor, and you were administering the ball. Again, you don't administer the ball down or give the ball to the free throw shooter until your partner is giving you a thumbs up to do so, or a point, you know. Okay. Sometimes there we go. That's a good switch on that foul call right there. You know, that's in Tom's area, Xzaveion, and you probably were stretching out of your primary into his primary because if I remember looking quickly, I think there was some players that were in yours that you should have. So that was probably your secondary. You got to trust your partner, you know. If Tom didn't make that call, then you have it. If you definitely know 110% that was a foul outside of your primary to make that call. So there you go. Go in hard and sell it, Tom. Go hard and sell it. When he doesn't know, you go running over there and tell him. Okay, on that particular play, Tom's coming up the floor, was deflected and knocked out of bounds. He did not see who hit it out of bounds. So what he should have done is he was pointing to his glasses, which, I mean, was an indication to, you know, and Tom, you caught, you know, that it should have been going black ball. But Tom, you should have said help, you know, help, and then other Tom over here should have went hard to him, and he should have told him, you know, that it was black ball, and then he should have blew his whistle and then pointed, we have black. Okay, everybody knows, and you guys are confident on whose ball it is, okay? Okay. Xzaveion, I think a couple times now, just kind of watching your eyes, and you're doing a little ball watching there. Now I saw you do switch. Xzaveion, you got to go down now. Good get, good foul call. There we go. Okay, again, just, you know, keep looking at every time you report, Xzaveion. You know, your fall reporting, your positioning, again, coming up, come to a stop. Come to the table, to that reporting area, come to a stop, and then do your report, two-handed report of the number. Yep. Okay. Again, that's another thing we should always be checking, especially, Tom, you're over here in the seat away from the table. Just take a peek over on free throws. You see guys sitting by the table there. Communicate over to Xzaveion. You know, we got subs. Xzaveion, you got to blow that whistle. Hand up. Beckon the subs in. Hand stays up. Until the subs are in and out, you have 5 of each team on the floor. Then your hand can come down and thumbs up or point to your teammates that they can administer the free throw or have a throw-in or whatever is going on at that time. That's what we call officials communication on the floor. Okay, let the ball go. You don't need to handle the ball, Xzaveion. Just let it go. Your responsibility is theirs. You got a sub. Okay, that's one thing, too many officials. I talked to a lot of officials this weekend about that. They want to be ball grabbers, you know. As soon as they make a foul call or a violation, you know, they want to grab the ball. How can you make any calls when you got the ball in your hands? Your hands are full. You can't properly have the hand mechanics that you need to have. Let the ball go. In every basketball game that I work, I never, ever pick up the basketball. I make that the player's responsibility. They pick the ball up and they hand it to me and hand it to my partners. If it rolls around, nobody's going to get it, I kindly say, number 52, will you please get the ball for me? Or whoever's closest to it. They pick the ball up and then they toss it to me so I can get the ball back in the play. If I'm administering it on the sideline, on the baseline, end line, I'm ready to administer free throws. I'm focused on the players, not tracking the ball down. If it goes into the crowd, it will come back onto the floor. Okay, timeout situation. Okay, Xzaveion, the coach was calling timeout. Xzaveion got it. Again, you know, in a game situation, but blow that whistle hard, hand up. And then, of course, in a game situation, you're going to indicate if it's a full timeout or a 30-second timeout based on what the coach's request was or the player's request on the floor. In the camps here, a lot of times they dictate that it's just a one full timeout, so we get used to just doing, the blow the whistle, the timeout, and just go with that. But probably could even indicate, full timeout, if that's what it's based on. So again, future, camp situations, whatever, if you're back with us again next year, it's one thing that probably as, working on your rotations and stuff this year, through the course of the year, you want to get crisp on those hand mechanics. And okay, so we have black in the bonus, so we are shooting free throws every time now with black. Every foul we have on a white player, we have free throws going on. Let's hopefully make sure now that we're all cognizant of that, and that's going to happen to get the players set up. And we're not going to have the table over there blowing their horn to remind us that we have bonus situation. Okay, Tom. Okay, on that situation, Tom, over there, when you got players that are now they're chasing all over the place, you want to probably take a bigger angle, to watch. Or as a C, you want to be probably moving up 1 or 2 steps a little bit versus just turning your body in at the C position. Take a couple steps, towards the players. That's where you can actually even initiate the rotation. If it gets up high, almost by the half-court line, you get up there, and your other official partners got to recognize that Xzavion's got to come across, to become the new lead on your side, and then Tom's got to come down from the trail position and become the C. So that's one area that the C can dictate a rotation other than the lead. Okay, 151 left in the game here. Let's finish strong now. Out of bounds, Xzaveion, you got it. Okay, got pressure, Tom. Come on up, Tom. A lot of pressure here. You want to help him. There you go. Good job. Okay, just food for thought here. Anytime that you had pressure, 1 or 2 players, offensive players, no defensive players, it's pretty easy for the new trail to do that with nobody defending. If you bring a defensive player up, spark a little defense on one of those players, the trail should be able to cover it. If the C starts to see another player sneak up, he should start to take a focus of moving back up the floor to help his trail partner on the press situation. Possibly that he might need to help out with a trap or something and be ready to call a foul. Anytime you have 4 people on top of each other in the front court, that C's got to be helping in the back court on that trap or holds or pushes or whatever. The other lead down the floor can cover the other 6 players without a problem. The pressure's on the front, but that's where the ball is, so we want to make sure if there's reaching and pushing, there's a foul. We want to make sure that we're there to help that new trail get that foul call. Over and back. There we go. Over and back again. That's Tom's call over there. Xzaveion. That would be Tom's call. Okay. The trail's responsible for that. that half-court line. Xzaveion, the same situation that I just talked about there. Now you were the C, Tom's the new trail, pressure in the backcourt. You got to come up and help Tom as a C. Good get. Good foul call. Bodying the whole way, pushing him the whole way up. Okay, that's how I talked about earlier, you know, communication. Communication on free throws. There's a lot of bodying going on there, Lance. I'm not Lance. Xzaveion on that sideline over there. Oop. There again, okay, when we get into this end-of-game situation and we have these close tussles that are going on here, even though the point difference is 32-24, the teams are getting a little feisty. We got to get in position to referee these players, okay? We got to step up from the C. You got to come up onto the end of the front court. You got to help out that trail. And then when the guy starts grabbing them too, you know, then you got to make that decision. You know, intentional foul, you know, possibly could become flagrant. All those things, you know, that can happen, you know, in that close tussle situation, especially when the game is close in score. This one's not, but it seems the teams are. Last thing you want to have happen is you have, you know, solid, you know, 2 halves of play, and all of a sudden you get down to the last minute of the game or 30 seconds of the game, and your game goes to crap due to the fact that, you know, you're not officiating to the very end and making sure that the players aren't getting hammered and attacked, and you're making those foul calls.
Lance and Mike, do they work for you?
They do not yet, but
I would
yep,
Lance.
yep,
Does
yep.
Bray work for you?
Yes, off and on. Yeah.
Oh, worse instruction. I would bring those two with this year. Let me put it this way. What you do with him is your business. I would hire those two today.
You know, one other thing that we talk about, you know, too, that, and this is something that you discuss, you know, with your partners, like at halftime or even at the end of the game here, you know, when you see guys that are getting a little bit on the feisty side, you know, as a crew, then you get together and you start telling each other, you know, that number 15 or number 35 or 23 are a little bit, you know, feisty. You know, they could be game interrupters, and those are the guys that you want to always attack, or, you know, make sure you keep your eyes focused on.